Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of TheCaliEffect. Today, we're going to be doing the Gravekeeper deck profile, a very interesting deck and a very fun deck. There is a build that just topped YCS Philly. We don't know exactly what the build is, and I would make some changes to alter my deck, alter this Gravekeeper deck, just to copy a little bit of the things that they're doing, because I'm pretty sure it's something innovative or something different, if not probably the same exactly thing what I'm doing. But let's get down to the deck. If you guys would like to see three, or actually it's going to be more than three at some time, amazing games of me playing Gravekeepers just to see how the deck runs, it is definitely going to be down below in the playlist. If you guys would like to purchase this Gravekeeper deck, go ahead and drop me a message. I have a couple that are for sale, and I'd be more than happy to willing to negotiate a price. We're going to be running 3 copies of Gravekeeper Spy. Now, Gravekeeper Spy is the base of the deck, the heart and soul. You flip it, you special summon a Gravekeeper from your deck. Most important card. 3 copies of Commandant, essential for getting Necro Valley to the hand. I wish that it said it meant one Necro Valley card, because that would have been just so much better. 3 copies of Recruiter, and basically you need to run all 6 or all 9 of these cards. This is what every standard Gravekeeper deck will run, just because this is going to be able to recycle, be able to create so many plays. It's going to be able to grab your Commandants itself and your Descendants. The Spies are going to be able to search out the Recruiters, and then you get the combo them off with Descendants, which you tribute a Gravekeeper, you get the Destroyer card. You typically want to tribute off Recruiters, or sometimes even Spy to put them in the graveyard to add to your hand with Steel. Descender's just a really solid card. I wouldn't run more than 2 though. Assailant, I've noticed that when I dropped Assailant, that a lot of this deck's problems would come with monsters just too strong for this deck to get over. That's why I feel Assailant is a critical piece to the deck. Switching the opponent's monsters to defense, sure, more than likely means that you're going to get over the monster just through Assailant itself. It's just a really good card. Gravekeeper's Nobleman, I only use 1 of her because she's situational at best. Normally when you summon her, people are just like extremely scared to attack into her because they already know it's going to set the Spy is going to flip, and then it's going to get more things. But Nobleman is a really good card overall. If you can force your opponent to attack into her, you can just get into some extreme plays, like I said, setting the Spy getting something else, and then you just get to make a whole bunch of wacky plays from there. The only other problem is that she's level 3, which really doesn't help the deck, but she's still a decent card. For spells, we're running 3 copies of Necro Valley. That's standard, running in every Gravekeeper deck. 3 Steel. A lot of people play 2. I play 3 Steel because I run 13 monsters. I want to maximize the ability to recycle my monsters to the hand. It's our gear-like card because we don't have a trap card to special summon monsters from our deck. So if you want to mirror the style of this deck, you can mirror it to an anti-meta Gear deck. And this is going to be our Gear, just recycling those cards and still being able to prevent the opponent from going into the graveyard. 3 copies of Duality. We don't special summon that much, and searching is key. And 2 Kaiser Kalazim. Kaiser Kalazim is going to lock out the opponent from going into Synchros and Exceed plays, mainly because we tend to only have 1 monster on the field. And if that ever is a problem, you know, flip summon Spy. Spy normally gets Descendant or Recruiter. You summon Descendant, you get to blow up 2 cards instead of 1. Keep Kaiser Kalazim on the board because it's going to control your game. And that's basically going to get you a win on its own right. For traps, 3 chains. Effect negation is key. That is with any format. Now, I wanted to run 2 of these, but it's so situational, or 3 of these, but it's so situational. I'm running 2 Imperial Tombs of the Necro Valley. The main reason why I'm only running 2 is because it requires Necro Valley and a Gravekeeper to be face up on the field. That always doesn't happen. And with that being said, we just have a lot of other great traps that we could run in place of it. If I would be running 3 Tombs, I'd probably take out that Tech Dust Tornado that I am running in here. 2 copies of Blackhorn of Heaven. Blackhorn of Heaven is amazing for stopping Exene and Synchro plays because those on top of that tend to be the bigger monsters that we can't get rid of. 2 copies of Deep Prison, the only counteractive trap card when the opponent enters battle. I feel like Deep Prison is superior to Mirror Force for cards like Mermal Abyss Lind, monsters that can't be destroyed by card effects and all that other stuff. Deep Prison effectively removes the threat and banishes from the game, something we never want to see the monster again from. Next is 2 copies of 7 Tools of the Bandit, but I'm not even going to lie, after after playing that last game on the Gravekeeper Saga, these are going to be wiretaps, definitely. The reasoning behind 7 tools at first was because I didn't want to ever see the trap again, especially since Gravekeepers have a grind game. But the 1,000 life point cost is heavy, and seeing that wiretap has no life point cost, I really feel that wiretap will be the superior card, because I ran really low on life points, got Cowboy Zone, and wiretap would have, you know, just at least kept me out of the Cowboy Zone, and you can almost activate wiretap any given time. Next, 1 copy of Dust Tornado. This would be the tune if I was running 3. Dust Tornado is extremely versatile when you're running 16 traps. Being able to destroy your opponent's card, then set your Imperial Tomb, so it's practically safe from your opponent's blind destruction or whatever, is a pretty good thing. I really like this card in here. Torrential, Bottomless, Compulse, and Solemn. That's basically going to wrap up the monsters that we use. And ironically and surprisingly, Torrential does not hurt this deck. Normally when you're Torrential Tributing, you have no monsters on the field. The monsters that you have on the field are useless, or it's a Recruiter, which is perfectly fine. Now on to the extra deck, which is, I'm just going to really blaze through this. Skillstorm Roach, Ragnar Zero for Fire Fist, monsters that attack modifiers, Stroke, Crazy Box, we sideboard Skill Drain when the opponent uses Skill Drain. Key Beetle protects our Necro Valley, it's a really good card. Black Ship, Yamato, 101, Special Summon, Heartland Draco for Soul Charge players. This typically gets us game. Keep in mind that we do have a lot of face-up spell cards on the field, so it wouldn't be able to be targeted for attacks. Exiton, because it's Exiton. Diamond Dyer, Down Syndrome Magician, we run Spellcasters, why not? She can get pretty buff. Abyss Dweller, Cowboy, and 2 copies of Cyber End Dragon for Malefic Cyber End Dragons in our sideboard. You tend to not use your extra deck at all, but when you do, you're probably going to need it, or it's probably going to be game. Next, for the sideboard, 1 copy of Fossil Pachycephalo. So many applications, but for right now, I'm just going to say artifacts, especially with their rise and play. You summon Fossil Dyna. A lot of the builds do run the trap trick stuff, so you got to watch out. But you summon Fossil Dyna against regular artifacts, and you practically win the game off of Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo in its own right. You have back row, that's perfectly fine. 2 copies of Malefic Cyber End Dragon. Normally these come in when skill drains come in. It provides a 4,000 beater, a big force that, you know, we tend to don't have, and it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent to get rid of this card. 1 copy of Thunder King Ryo. Thunder King Ryo wins games when it's by himself. DeFi. 3 Typhoon. As you guys can see, I did not main board Typhoon. I haven't really missed it at all. I have wiretaps, and I have Dust Tornado in the sideboard, and I really feel that Typhoon really isn't needed in the Gravekeeper main deck. You have Descendants for blowing up stuff. 3 copies of Skill Drain. Skill Drain is going to negate the monster's effects. Good for the Gear matchup. Good for the Fire Fist matchup with Dulces. Any of that stuff, it doesn't hurt us as much as it hurts them, and that's essentially what get us the win. 1 copy of Soul Drain. That extra skill drain in the form of Light Imprisoning Mirror for artifacts and all that other stuff. The 2nd copy of Dust Tornado and Macrocosmos does not hurt us at all. Thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.